Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're tackling a technology that honestly feels like it leaps straight out of a sci-fi novel, but it's rapidly becoming a very serious economic reality. We're talking about humanoid robots. Now, we're going to skip the viral videos of robots doing backflips today. Instead, we're using directly sourced data to explore the massive financial boom and the hidden, highly practical bottlenecks currently happening in humanoid robotics.
Okay, let's dive right into this. On our roadmap today, we're covering 5 key areas. First, the multi-trillion-dollar hype. Second, bridging the data gap. Third, the global robotics race. Fourth, real-world warehouse safety. And finally, measuring the financial risks.
Section 1. The multi-trillion-dollar hype.
To really grasp where this industry is at today, you have to look at the massive financial stakes driving these machines out of the lab. Take Elon Musk, for example. He recently projected that, quote, everyone on Earth is going to have one, a product that can bring in $30 trillion of revenue annually. I mean, 30 trillion. We are sitting at the absolute peak of a hype cycle right now, with major tech figures painting this picture of a global labor market utterly transformed by these machines.
But as we know, hype alone doesn't build a complex supply chain, right? Capital does. And this excitement has triggered billions of dollars of actual real-world investment for 2025 alone. We're not just talking about plucky little startups here. Heavyweights, think OpenAI, Google, NVIDIA, they are pouring massive amounts of money into this space. They're basically betting that bringing AI off a computer screen and out into the physical world is the next great technological gold rush.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the exact definition of what these companies are actually trying to build, because the core technological bet driving these wild valuations relies on cracking one specific thing: physical AI. This is specialized artificial intelligence stuffed into a physical body with sensors, batteries, and incredibly expensive, complex actuators. So actually, scratch the idea of this just being a software problem. It's a monumental engineering challenge that has to deal with, gravity.
Section 2. Bridging the data gap.
And this brilliantly illustrates the sobering reality engineers face once you step away from the Silicon Valley boardrooms. On the left side, you've got large language models, LLMs like ChatGPT. They essentially act like a giant library of words, and their whole job is just guessing the next appropriate string of text. But on the right side, physical AI has a much harder task. It has to guess the next string of motions and images to actually make a physical robot move successfully. Think about it. A chatbot generating a weird sentence is just a funny glitch, right? But a 150-pound robot generating a weird motion and crashing into your kitchen counter? Yeah, that's a serious hazard.
Professor Ken Goldberg at UC Berkeley actually coined a term for this issue. He calls it the robot data gap. The problem is that almost no physical experience has been recorded to match camera inputs with robot motion commands. If you want an AI robot to do something as routine as, say, folding laundry, it needs a massive amount of visual and physical data to understand how fabric moves, how to use articulated fingers, and how to grip a shirt without completely squishing it. It's like a giant puzzle with missing pieces.
So how do engineers actually solve this? Well, they use a process known as the flywheel. First, the robot works in the real world, collecting image and motion data. Second, that data is carefully filtered. Third, it's used to train a larger AI model. And finally, step 4, that newly improved model is fed right back into the robot. The ultimate goal here is to deploy robots that literally learn on the job, constantly feeding data back into the system to slowly but surely close that massive data gap.
To jumpstart this flywheel, robotic startups like 1X are using some pretty fascinating tactics. They run hyper-realistic virtual simulations where thousands of digital robots learn simultaneously. They're harvesting tons of 2D YouTube videos just to teach the AI how humans naturally move. They even use human teleoperation, literally having real people wear VR glasses to act as expensive puppeteers, physically showing the robot what to do. And increasingly, they're generating AI world models to predict the physical outcome of actions. It's basically an all-hands-on-deck, almost desperate effort to gather physical data by any means necessary.
Section 3. The global robotics race.
Now, this intense data gathering isn't just happening in isolated American labs. There is a fierce, rapidly accelerating global competition to commercialize physical AI first. To really grasp the sheer scale of this race, just look at this number. 1 trillion yuan. That is roughly 140 billion US dollars. That's the amount China pledged for 2025 to heavily promote emerging technologies, and a massive portion of that is specifically dedicated to the robotics industry.
So the crucial point is that China is aggressively positioning itself to completely dominate humanoid deployment globally. It's a stated government priority under their China 2025 plan, and they already boast over 140 humanoid companies. But their biggest advantage for sure is their incredible manufacturing scale and vertical integration, which they basically borrowed directly from their electric vehicle industry. They already have the supply chain for sensors, AI chips, and batteries totally locked down, allowing them to build hardware way cheaper and faster than almost anyone else.
Section 4. Real World. Warehouse Safety.
Let's bring this back down to earth for a second. Why are companies testing these highly advanced machines in mundane warehouses first? Well, it's because of this number right here, 2 million. That is the estimated number of U.S. manufacturing jobs that could sit completely unfilled by 2033. There's a massive, looming labor gap approaching the logistics sector. Humanoids are basically viewed as a potential lifeline to keep those supply chains from collapsing, which, directly impacts the cost and availability of the goods we all buy every single day.
Let's move to and see how this builds in actual practice with GXO logistics warehouse pilots. On the plus side, humanoids are proving to be absolutely fantastic for worker safety. GXO has successfully deployed them in commercial freezers where they can work for a full battery life. This keeps human workers totally out of highly uncomfortable, unsafe sub-zero conditions. But the mechanical bottlenecks are still pretty severe. The cons? They currently operate at slow speeds. They occasionally damage or drop products, and their mechanical hands severely lack human dexterity. They're just kind of clumsy right now.
Section 5. Measuring the financial risks.
We really need to synthesize that multi-trillion-dollar Silicon Valley hype with the grounded warehouse reality to assess the true financial risk here. Deploying a robot in a controlled industrial space is vastly different from putting one in your living room. In a fixed factory, processes are highly shielded and repetitive. It's relatively safe to test a humanoid there. But the long-term, multi-trillion-dollar market projection, that relies entirely on getting these robots into hospitals and homes. Those are semi-structured environments filled with high uncertainties and, especially in healthcare, literal life or death stakes. Think about it. The cost of a robot dropping a cardboard box is a few bucks. The cost of a robot making a physical error in a hospital room, that is catastrophic.
And that brings us to a really crucial reality check from the logistics experts who are actually testing this hardware today. As Patrick Kelleher of GXO notes, quote, "It's not really understood yet what the return on investment is going to be based on the finalized technologies that are coming out. So despite those breathtaking $30 trillion revenue projections and all the excitement of a rapidly growing market, the actual financial return on this incredibly expensive physical AI hardware remains entirely unproven."
This leaves us with a pretty provocative question as we wrap up this explainer. Will humanoids eventually overcome their steep data bottlenecks to become indispensable companions, building our cars, folding our laundry, and keeping us safe in warehouses? Or will the immense financial risks prove just way too high, making them a passing novelty that gives way to more practical robots of other shapes and sizes? It is a fascinating, high-stakes race between financial ambition and physical reality, and we will absolutely be watching how it unfolds. Thank you so much for joining me today, and keep learning.